Hello, everybody. Welcome to this meeting, Flagship Product Introduction. I thought that this meeting would be about the central plasma unit in particular, but it's not. I looked through it today and saw that it's not. It's really talking about, what Spooky2 really is. What's involved here, how it works. So let me move along here. Oh, we need more of that. So we're going to talk about the portable XM Essential Kit, the portable generator Essential Kit. It says there's some testimonials. Well, there's one at the end. I can play it if we think we want to hear that in the Q&A. This will not be a very long meeting, I don't think. But we'll see. We'll see how long it goes, and we'll take it step by step. Does anybody have questions before I begin? You're sure welcome to ask them, and I will do my very best to answer them. See, some people are here that I've seen before. That's great. Welcome. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. This seems like a bit of a repeat from last night in looking at these things. So the Spooky2 Portable XM Essential Kit comes with the things that you see here. The two XM generators, the blue generators. It has two of the Spooky2 Boost. It includes a couple packs of TENS pads, the paddles for contact mode. The TENS pads are for contact mode, also contains the Spooky2 Pulse, which is for doing biofeedback. As cabling, these are USB cables that are needed. These are the remote units. This is the cold laser. This is another form of the cold laser. So all of this stuff is included with this particular unit. Is there a way to do foot bath with any of the Spooky2 units? Yeah, there are ways to do that. I believe people use these paddles to do that. I have not personally done that, so I can't speak directly to it. But yeah, people talk about doing this often, and the information is in the manual that is available online and comes with all equipment. So yeah, that's doable. That's odd that this is moving off that way. Oh, I see. So it's talking about this unit. So yeah, it has two generators. So you could run killing programs on one generator and another for detoxification. That's pretty handy to be able to do both at once. Helps to keep your body clear of these things that are being killed off, and you eliminate them. One of the things that should always be remembered is to hydrate well, making sure to keep your body fully hydrated while you're doing killing programs in particular and detox. You want to wash that stuff out of your system. So yeah, it can do the pulse scan. The pulse scan, this is a method that some people swear by. They think it's really the best and only way. I can't speak directly to that because I don't want to take the time it takes to do it. For me, to hold still for an hour or more is not my favorite method of doing things, but people do talk about how accurate this is. I'm sure it is, but I've also discovered great accuracy using the X generator and its ability. So let's move on here. I don't know if you know about doing biofeedback scans. This is a pretty interesting thing, but it really does find frequencies that your body is letting you know it needs. It does this in an interesting way, sending these frequencies into the body, and the responses that those frequencies get. John White talks about those things that scream the loudest are the ones that get the most attention. So those are noted down, and then you run those frequencies later to match them up and eliminate those things. essential kit. So that's this thing. That's the GeneratorX right there. And you can see that it also comes with 2 of the boosts, 2 of the remotes, has the paddles also, has 10 pads, has the cold laser equipment, has a USB, but this one unit is 2 generators. There are actually 2 in 1. When you plug it in, the software identifies this as 2 individual generators. Comes with the paddles, just like the other one. Let's see, I have a question here. How do you connect 2 generators to do the detox and the other program at the same time? Well, in the software, what you're looking at, here, I think I can pull my, one of my units in there. Hold on a moment. I'll pull something in so you can see it. So I have several generators. I have quite a few generators. 3 of them that I have connected right now are the GeneratorX. Can you all see this? Nancy, can you see this on my screen? I'll assume that, yeah, okay. So, yeah, okay, great. Everybody can see it. I appreciate that. So what you would do is you would pick one generator, like I've picked this one, and it is running the Schumann resonance, right? I have 2 machines. Now this identifies, notice when I clicked on that, it's showing me that this generator is an XM, right? It's letting me know that. If I go over here and I click on this, notice that will change, better change. Oh no, I forgot that I was running this on an XM also. I'm actually running, sometimes, you know, I have a lot of machines. I have 7 and 8 that are XM, and I have 17 and 18 that are X generators. Anyway, so you can see I'm using this one to run the terrain protocol, right? This one right here. And I'm running another one to have a detox program running at the same time, right? Just 2 separate generators with different programmed frequency sets in them, right? So you can see this is on day 4. If I go over here, so this one is a grade scan I did on myself, having to do with biofeedback scans that I did over a period of time. These are running. I've had them running for a couple of days. And, you know, I chose to do these on the X generator because some of them are quite high frequencies. And so I wanted to make sure to get those handled. You know, you have a lot of choices and you can make a lot of things run at one time. So that's pretty handy to have as part of your tool bag. So all of this comes with the GeneratorX. And like I said, it represents 2 units in 1 that can run higher frequency sets, which makes it great. Like I said, I have 3 personally connected right now. I have a 4th one that I use in different situations where I carry it around with me. I take it places with me. It's also pretty handy. This generator, by the way, in case you missed this idea, I'm going to answer that question, Nancy, in just a moment. This generator can be programmed, it can be pre-programmed and run independent of a computer. And that's a nice feature to have. It says, so you're not using TENS pads, these are frequencies running in the room. No, as you could see, those frequencies that I have running are all running remote. I'm not using the TENS pads right now. I do often use them. I have them around. I use them for different things. Working contact method is a great method, and I'm much more likely to use the TENS pads than I am to use the paddles. So these are two packages of TENS pads. These are the paddles, right? I have an aversion to sitting around holding the paddles. The first Rife machine that I ever had used that kind of system, and it worked perfectly well. I mean, Rife frequencies work. I mean, that was my introduction, and I would not trade that for anything. But sitting around and holding the paddles for 45 minutes or an hour and a half wasn't my favorite. The idea that I can run these frequencies remotely is something I depend on. Some of those frequencies right now are being run on people in other states for myself. One is being run on people in Utah, and one is being run on somebody in Arizona. Those frequencies are felt. I get reports every day. We talk about what's going on with them. And it just doesn't matter where they are. My son's in New York City. I run them on him and his girlfriend. They both report back to me on results. It's all been positive. The remote is using the nail dust from you. The remote is actually, this is a question that was brought up. The remote is using a nail dust from me. The remote is using a nail clipping from me. Okay. If I'm running something, first off, the nail dust is used for this device right here, which is a digitizer, right? So the nail dust goes into these things, which are slides. They sandwich the nail dust between them, and that goes into the digitizer, which reads that information. So it's remote biofeedback. It's a different way of doing it. I found this to be very interestingly accurate, as accurate as doing it with TENS cables and connecting, which was very surprising to me. So yeah, so two different things going on. The nail dust is being used for the biofeedback in the digitizer. The nail clippings are being used in the remote units. And it says you're using a generator for each person. Not always. Sometimes I use a single generator for multiple people. I have no problem doing this. I've not encountered any problems. I have no hesitation doing it. That being said, if somebody is very sick, I do devote a single generator to them, or even a couple of them, mostly because I'm directing very specific frequencies to them that are not really applicable to anybody else and could have benefit for other people, but I don't know that necessarily. So I use generators specific to people if I'm going after something specific to them. So, you know, it's all a logical thing. I mean, the more you think about it, the more you go, yeah, this has logic to it. And I want to say this about this whole idea of the logic behind these things. I've noticed that people discover that something works, and then they go, well, because this one thing works, that automatically means something else works. And I'm not about that at all. The remote functionality works, and the digitizer works, and we use the remotes to create to imprint stickers. We also use other parts. We can use cold laser to imprint water, and the PEMF device to imprint different things. And that's interesting to me. And imprinting is interesting to me. And the only reason it continues to be interesting is I keep having success with it and finding that it works. But there are people talking about things with imprinting that I'm going, there's no logic to that at all. People talk about placing images and imprinting those to people. Well, yeah, I've heard about it. I don't personally have experience. Maybe that works, but I don't have any experience, and so I can't speak to it directly. But my way is to investigate it and try it out and make my own decisions about it and not let myself get caught up in that idea of, because this one thing really works does not necessarily mean that the other works. So stickers and pre-imprinted water work. Does that mean somebody's photo and connection with those imprintings works? I just don't have any idea of what that means. I don't see the logic, but maybe somebody at some point can explain that to me. Maybe. This says, I have an ultrasound attachment. Would you use contact or coil option in using it? Well, the ultrasound, if you're talking about the device that comes with the central, you would use that as a separate instrument. So you'd be running plasma, for instance, on yourself along with the ultrasound. And why would you not choose that most powerful of methods? You could use it with the contact or PEMF, but I mean, my choice is, if I'm running something at that level, I want to use what's going to give me the most benefit. And the ultrasound attachment would allow you to target a specific area. So if you're going after something that's big, right, you would want to go after it in every option. So yeah, if those are tumors, you would want to work with the plasma addressing those tumors and the ultrasound at the same time on the tumors themselves, if you can. Yeah, using the plasma, that's certainly what you're wanting to go after with that. And the ultrasound would give extra benefit in that it's attacking those tumors in a different way. It's going after them in a coming at it from a different angle. I'm asked, how often do you do biofeedback? I generally do it. I try to do it maybe every 7 to 10 days, something like that. I'm not strict about that. If I have something going on that I'm really wanting to investigate, I'm likely to do it that often, but sometimes I let that lapse. When I'm working with people that have bigger issues, I try to keep to that because you're building up a bank of frequencies that can later be brought together. So I have many biofeedback scans I've done on myself, and I bring them together. Same thing with my wife. And these things build up over time. So you have the ability to more and more target what you're after. The biofeedback is not the same as using the presets or certain frequencies that you've chosen from the programs to use on yourself. It's identifying things that you might not even think about. It's like, it's identifying things in your body that your body's reacting to that, you go, well, I have a tumor. So, I'm attacking tumors. I'm going after that. But what might need addressing that your body would react to, you might have some kind of issue with parasites that the biofeedback would pick up on. And you would then be addressing those, not even knowing specifically what it was that the biofeedback picked up on. So it's useful. The biofeedback is very useful. And yeah, you want to do it with some regular basis, and you want to keep those results around. And really, they don't go away. So they're going to be in your biofeedback results. So yeah, you get a couple of velvet bags to protect your generators. That's all very nice. Ask me how often I use the velvet bags. Every once in a while when I travel. Do the programs suggest how many times to run the program for specific conditions? Not necessarily. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they'll say, you probably only need to run this once. Or sometimes it's set up to run a certain number of times. But often what you're wanting to do is use your senses. You want to use your senses. Part of doing this has to do with how you're feeling and what you know intuitively, whether you know or not. How'd that come out? Yeah, that's right. You know, sometimes you know things about yourself intuitively that no amount of information is going to change. And, you know, I suggest using every tool in your arsenal and knowing what's working for you and what's not. If something's not working, you set it aside and move to the next thing, right? So if you're doing contact programs, for instance, they often will have a set time on them, right? The time is set up to run for a certain amount of time. So you might be running for 45 minutes, right? And it will stop. And you might let it go at that for the day. My dad had a different machine other than Spooky2, and he got very enthusiastic about it. And a couple of times he put himself in a place where he was herxing and didn't understand that he was herxing and was wondering what was going on because he was doing these frequencies, but he was running frequencies on himself 5 times in a day that really required only once. And on his machine, it actually ran and stopped and told him you should stop now. But, you know, he's very enthusiastic about such things and didn't listen to it. But this is very direct. Contact mode will do that. Whereas remote mode, right? So you have contact mode, you have remote mode. In remote, you might run that same thing. Yeah, I'll address that. I noticed this also. You might run that same thing for 5 days, right? Something you run for 45 minutes in contact, you might run 5 days or even longer in remote. And again, your senses are going to let you know what's going on with that. And you can choose to run it indefinitely. You can do that. This thing here, Marianne is pointing out, I thought the TENS pads were supposed to be connected to the booster, not to the booster. That's my information also, but this is connected. I always have to look at these things to see. I have one down here. Let me move my light so I can see this. That is connected to the boost, right, in, you know, on a post that is noted as contact power. So that can be connected there, right? Or you can put it directly onto out one. That's typically what I would do. This is something that is a little bit different. People are, you know, I'll answer that question in a minute too. The manual tells you very specifically what to use. This picture is a little bit different from what I'm used to. Does that mean it's better or worse? I don't know. Does it mean the exact same benefit is being had? Probably. So, whoops, sorry. So let me back up a little bit here. So yeah, this can run a sample scan using the digitizer, which I just talked about, and it does run this scan remotely, which is a pretty remarkable thing. Nancy has asked a question. If you're working with an unaware person that you're trying to help heal, do you use your intuition? I use a biofeedback scan. If they have informed me of something that's going on with them and I feel like I can find frequencies that address that in the programs or the presets, I will use those. But even as I pick something, even as I'm looking through programs and picking something, am I being intuitive? Well, the answer to that is yes, because there might be 50 different possibilities that I can choose from. And I have a sense that when picking these things, we're all using our intuitive sense. And sometimes, you know, it's right on, and we'll see reactions in minutes. I've mentioned this before. I have a friend that knows when I turn a frequency on and when I turn it off. And she is 1,000 miles from me. And She has done this more than once. She has said to me when I made a change, within 30 seconds, she will text me and goes, "What are you doing?" So intuitively, I'm making a change, but physically, she is responding to this, and I find that quite amazing. How long would you suggest to run the detox after a vaccine? Reactions from a vaccine, from any vaccine, are Herx reactions. That's what the Herx reaction specifically referred to. It was a reaction from a vaccine. I have had all 3 vaccines. My reaction was a sore shoulder. And I have some things that I set up just in case I had reactions. I did this before I ever got the first vaccine, and I never used them, but I had them. So how long to run a detox? Well, why not, if you're concerned about that, go ahead and run the terrain detox again, or find specific chemical detox. Why not? If you're concerned about that, you want to get rid of those things that are in your body, why not do that? I consistently run the newest COVID frequencies, both the all strains and the spike proteins. I run them on myself and everybody that I work with all the time. Those are running 24/7 in the background in everybody's lives. Now, the thing is, I was doing this before there was a vaccine. None of the people that I was working with got COVID. But let's be fair. There were millions of other people also who didn't get COVID. So does it mean it worked or didn't work? I have no idea. Do I keep running them anyway? Yeah, I do, because it's a tool, and I'm totally into using tools at my disposal. Some of the tools are medical. They're Western medicine. I have nothing against Western medicine. They know how to diagnose things better than anybody. A lot of Chinese methods also are great, at diagnosis, and acupuncture is an amazingly powerful tool. I make use of that, right? I make use of what's available in the world. My sense is that life comes from me and goes outward. And I think that's the same for all of us. That's just my opinion, not preaching anything here. But that means that everything I see in my world is a reflection. And that being said, I use what I see reflected out there. I make use of it. So is there also a detox for spike protein? Detox is detox, right? You're getting things out of your body that don't belong in it. So when I'm not running terrain protocols on people, I'm running detox maintenance all the time, helping the bodies to keep free of stuff. Does that mean that they're consistently free of stuff all the time? No, eventually you want to run another, terrain. It doesn't hurt to run the terrain. It's powerful and it does one heck of a job. So, I use that too. It says, have you had any issues with your generators? I have had 0 issues with my generators. How long have I had them? About 3 years, although I just bought a couple new X generators. Now you got to ask yourself, why would I buy more? Because I use them, right? I use them. They work and I use them. That's the thing. I have this equipment. I use it all the time. I see the benefit and I continue to expand my ability to make use of them. And I find different ways to make use of them. And, I work with quite a lot of people. So I want to stay ahead of that so that when I'm working to serve people, I'm doing a good job of it. And I want to use the best possible things that I have. Using multiple generators on yourself or others and others. I am doing that, yes. Yeah, when I talk about everybody being on the COVID frequencies, when I talk about everybody being on detox maintenance, when I talk about everybody being on the Schumann resonator. Yeah, yeah. If I'm working with somebody, again, if I'm working with somebody with a specific malady, I dedicate a generator to them. I'm working on them. I want them to get the benefit. And I, like those frequencies, as far as I can understand and tell, would just be lost on other people that I would put in there. People are concerned about, this has been like this big subject in the Spooky2 Facebook groups, this big concern about if you have yourself in the same remote as somebody else and the other person has a disease, are you going to get their disease from the two of you being in the same remote? Well, so far, I haven't had any experience of that. I just don't. I don't see any basis in reality for that, at least to this point, and I do it all the time. There are certainly people that I'm sharing a generator with who have one disease or another. Am I catching their disease because we each have our DNA in a device that is targeting the DNA? Somehow, that makes no logical sense to me. The frequencies are not causing our DNA to mix. The frequencies are targeting the DNA in each of our systems that belong specifically to us. And realize this, when I say that I have my nails in the same remote device as somebody else, that's true, but the nails aren't physically touching. They are separated by paper and tape, right? They're not physically touching. I don't know what they'd do if they were physically touching or if it would make a difference. But, I'm going that far anyway. They're separate to that degree. I have a question here. I know you can remotely detox, but can you also run frequencies for specific conditions remotely? Like, for example, high blood pressure. Yes, you can. I had blood circulation problems that my acupuncturist was kind enough to help me identify. I worked on them. I ran that remotely. And could I have done that contact? Yes, I could have. And it probably would have cleared that up faster. But I wasn't interested in speed. I was interested on experimenting. She said, it's not that big of a deal, but it could be improved. I went, great. So let's improve it. So after about 4 weeks, I went back to see her and she went, well, yeah, that is remarkably improved. She wasn't so thrilled with the idea that she hadn't caused that improvement because I wouldn't let her do it. But she was fascinated by the fact that I'd done it remotely with frequency work. So the answer to your question is, yeah, you can. And the thing is, for high blood pressure, that's something that, you see these blood pressure machines in stores so you can check your blood pressure. You might even have one at home. What is your experience? How long does a nail clipping last until it needs replacement? A lot of people replace nails after a month or so. I have to say, if I have new nails from somebody and I haven't seen them for a while, I do replace them. But I also have nails from somebody that I've had for more than a year and they still work. So what does that tell you? The DNA is embedded in the nail. It's embedded in that dust. Realize that, that filing of nail dust, it looks very tiny to us, but under a microscope, it would be huge, and the DNA contained in it would be infinitesimal. And yet, that is enough to connect, to entangle with the DNA that is part of your body. And that's how this is being done. this is part of my great fascination with all of this. Nancy writes, I have limited resources and need to use frequencies for my husband who has cancer. Is the Spooky2 portable GeneratorX essential kit a good choice? I would say, yeah, that is a good choice. If at some point you could move up to the plasma unit, you'd want to do that. But yeah, to start with the GeneratorX, I would certainly recommend that. Yeah, I think that would be a good choice. If you can afford a couple other of the GeneratorXM, that might be helpful to help running. In other words, you're saying you have money for the GeneratorX. Well, yeah, that would be excellent. And I would certainly recommend using that. But if you have 4 generators that you can run for different things at the same time, that might be a better choice. Nadia is saying, and definitely get the Scholar for cancer. This is your experience, Nadia. Again, I can't speak directly to that because I have no experience, even though I have a Scholar, right? But I haven't used it for cancer, so I don't know. I don't know. I have been assisting somebody to deal with cancer and the GeneratorX, and we seem to be having very positive results. So I can answer that and say, yeah. And even that, you know, Nadia, if you want to address that, you know, that'd be great. If you know answers to that, that would be great. Go ahead and put them in the text. I think we're closing in on this. I'll take any other answer or questions and try to answer them as best I can. Ooh, isn't that pretty on my screen? Three reasons. I don't know how long this video is. Maybe we should give it a listen. Hopefully the sound will carry across. Open this up.
So I'm a natural health practitioner, and I teach people how to live healthy lifestyle, how to do meditation, yoga, massages, how to use herbs to improve their health, how to improve their sleep, how to do exercises, how to organize even sustainable and friendly businesses, ecological businesses. So I don't endorse anybody's technical products, but this product is something that I personally use, and you know, I'm proud that it's made by my friends, but it works. That's why I like it. I wouldn't use it. And now I never travel without this product. It's called GeneratorX. There is another thing that actually the basic principles of these products are coming from my countryman, that is Nikola Tesla, that was born near the place where I was having beautiful eco-village. So it's very advanced, and the frequencies that can be generated or are generated with this product are actually those that support life functions in our body or destroy bad pathogens. So I use it when I travel, and due to bad food, bad air, or all kinds of conditions that are happening, makes me feel unwell. And if I don't have herbs, that I usually try to be organic and pure, etc., and if I don't have sauna and similar things to help me feel better, then this really does the work. So what I did, there are a number of possible frequencies that we can select and record on this device, so we can use it whenever we travel. So let me show you how it looks. We can start the program, and then we have 2 generators that we can use for 2 different programs at once. And for example, generator 2 gives me a list of programs that I can select. So most of the time I would select metal remove, and I can run it during the night so the toxins get removed from the body and I feel better next day. Or sometimes if there is some flu infection or similar throat infection, I use this program for, let me see, I saved it under number 17, Staphylococcus, and it works magic. I tried it many times, and within one night, usually I use it overnight, then I'm not busy doing other things. Over one night I get rid of inflammations and different sore throat and things like that. So here I have recorded also frequencies for my kids. That means what is not perfect in their body, I recorded what frequencies are going to heal them or help them regain the balance. So since if you have kids, you know that they don't like natural medicine because it's bitter or not tasting well, etc. So then this thing was much easier. I give them something to do and I plug them like this. You have a cord, there is output number 1 that gives good power, and there are pads. Pads can be placed on the place where you have pain or somewhere in the middle body, then it influences bottom and upper part. If you have headaches, you put it up here. If you want to do analysis of the system, that means to understand what is happening right now in your system, what is the problem, you can place one place here and one is placed here, and in that case you have to connect the device with the computer and click scan. So within 6 minutes your whole body is scanned with thousands of frequencies, finding what pathogens you have in imbalance or what are growing up more than normal. And then you get result. And then program generates actually antidote or the frequency that will balance your body automatically, and with few press of buttons you get exactly what you need. So the thing that you would spend probably days or months getting results from a regular hospital where you get in laboratory and give your samples, you get here within 6 minutes. And this is why I love this. You are not dependent on third parties and their accuracy. You just use this all the time, whenever you need it, of course, and you get good results and you get program that you need to rebalance your body again and get strength and power in your system. So that's probably the least you need to know. Of course, we have also one more thing that is really great, and it works on distance. So when you have program that your body needs, and you cannot be hooked all the time with the cables, I do it in the night, but when you're traveling, you can put your sample of DNA here. That's called remote part that actually emits the signals and your body receives it. So the program you set up for yourself get actually emitted to yourself wherever you are in the world, traveling either 100 miles or 1,000 miles, doesn't matter. This will reach you because it works through quantum field or quantum level of healing. And this is extremely useful because you don't need to take pills. You have the program that actually can simulate either similar medicine that you want to use, or just create a frequency that will bring your body into balance. So I highly recommend this for everybody who travels, who have family, kids, everybody who do not have enough time or energy to get all natural ingredients. Because we have to have natural way of life, then we stop accumulating toxic ingredients in our body and destroying the normal function. But in addition to that, I recommend this because it helps so much.
Clear that out of the way. So yeah, I agree with everything he said there. I thought he did a good job of talking about that. The thing is, let me answer this question. It says, the Spooky2 need Wi-Fi or internet connection only to load the software in, right? You don't have to have an internet connection to run the software and the equipment. The connection that's being made with the remote has nothing to do with Wi-Fi or the internet. So there you go. This is what I've got to give, and I'm happy if it's working for you. I really am. I want it to. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a great day. I really wish all of you to have peace and good health.